Hello and welcome to today's LinkedIn Live. You have me, Stephanie, the founder of the ADHD Advocate, and we are now into week two of ADHD Awareness Month. Last week, hopefully you were able to join us. We had some pretty interesting talks. Last week, we talked about ADHD insights. So we had Alex talk about the blue zones, which I found really helpful. And there's some summaries on LinkedIn if you look at the comments. And you can also watch a recording of that on our YouTube channel. And also, I know that on Friday, I believe that Richard spoke about the importance of safety. Very important, obviously, for ADHDers that they feel safe. Without feeling safe, ADHDers aren't going to be able to overcome the challenges in terms of particularly emotional dysregulation and, basically be able to thrive with their ADHD. So kind of safety is paramount. And relevant to that, I spoke about ADHD needs and the importance of not only identifying and accepting them, but also being able to communicate them. And that acceptance piece is so important because ADHDers, because of our rejection sensitive dysphoria, we don't readily accept that we have needs. We don't readily accept that there is something wrong with us. And we're all about reframing, shifting the narrative on ADHD. There's nothing wrong with ADHD per se. Obviously, very much there's some massive challenges and some really dire consequences if it's not supported correctly. It's definitely a disability in certain areas, and we do need to take it seriously and get treated. But in certain situations, when we've got the treatment right, we've got the right situation, for certain of us, it can be a really powerful strength and can help us reach our potential. So on that note, today we are talking about interdependence, the importance of interdependence, not independence. Now, this was thanks to Dr. Hallowell in his book, ADHD 2.0. Dr. Hallowell talks about the life goal for ADHD is, and that it should be interdependence, not independence. And I remember when I read that book and that sentence just jumped out at me like nothing else has when it comes to ADHD. It really struck a chord because it is so fundamental. Having coached ADHDers for quite a few years, and obviously having ADHD myself, children with ADHD, it really resonated because a lot of our issues are that we don't kind of ask for help. We try and do everything ourselves. Now, there is a reason for this. It's been drummed into us for a very early age, an early age, not just at school. It definitely is a very strong theme at school. If you look at education, health and care plans, for instance, the goal, even for ADHD, is specifically how to make the student more independent. Always this focus on independence, being able to do it yourself, by yourself, for yourself, which is not the recipe for success for ADHDers, which is why Dr. Hallowell coined interdependence, not independence. It's so appropriate for ADHDers. The reason for this, there's a few reasons. The first one is obviously rejection sensitive dysphoria. Right? So what makes it really hard for us to be able to ask for help, because there's no such thing as a self-made man or woman, right? In order to thrive, to reach your potential, you're not going to be able to do everything yourself. Simply, you won't have the time to do it, particularly if you've got ADHD, right? We're time blind. We underestimate time things take. So we're certainly not going to be able to have the time to do everything ourselves. Two, it could be that certain things aren't your strength. Certain things could actually be weaknesses of yours. And if you're just focusing on getting better at those weaknesses because of your ADHD, for instance, if it's a time-related issue or a structuring of some kind of writing report type of issue, your ADHD will invariably get in the way, probably keeps getting in the way. But we're not looking at the evidence, not accepting we've got these particular needs to present information maybe in a verbal way. We keep on trying, keep on failing, not getting anywhere. So, there's that issue as well. So we kind of get stuck. So that very much gets in the way of achieving our potential. So the other thing, so we don't like to appear as if there's something wrong with us, right? By asking for help, we kind of are saying, or ADHDers feel by asking for help, they're announcing, I don't know how to do this. I am obviously not good enough because I should know everything and I should be able to do everything myself, because that's not just the message I've got from education, it's the message I'm getting from my parents from a very early age, right? And usually if the child has parents and the child's got ADHD, parents most probably will have ADHD too. And the issue with that, ADHD parents, very busy, maybe they struggle with some of these things that the students finding boring as well. They're very time poor, stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, and very much want to buy into education's message of independence, because that will then mean that, right, takes the load off the parent. So it works for ADHD parents to go with that message of, hey, you know, child, you should be able to do this by yourself. Shouldn't you be doing your homework by yourself, right? You've got to be able to do this by yourself one day. So I'm not going to help you. You know, you've got to get on with it. Same thing, cleaning your room, other types of things that ADHDers find difficult because of the boredom factor or the overwhelm factor. Left to their own devices, often ADHDers just will be too overwhelmed or too bored, and there won't be interest there to kind of activate the reticular activation system, and they just can't get started, and they don't get started, and there are implications, as we know. Often they'll get in trouble, get nagged, worse, obviously academically. It could be that they just don't do very well at all, or they fail, you know, their intentions are misunderstood, or they're seen as lazy, told they're lazy. They're trying to kind of communicate and like verbally process to stay interested in a task at school, for instance. They get told off for talking, they get detention, and so on. So, you know, the ADHD are trying to help themselves engage again, and they're probably trying to be independent, trying to get themselves to engage by themselves, and it doesn't end well. So there's a big message in the ADHDers way, which is this focus on independence. It doesn't work. So the sooner we can education, and everyone else that's involved in supporting ADHDers, that interdependence is the goal for ADHDers, the better it will be for ADHDers to be able to thrive and not just survive with their ADHD. So our message, as you probably have seen for ADHD Awareness Month, is very much this focus on interdependence, not independence. And be very grateful if you would spread that word, if you would forward this this recording on which will be available on YouTube to as many people as you can, particularly the teachers. And I have to say, we are very excited to be exhibiting for the first time at the TES SEN show. We're going to be there Friday and Saturday this week. And do find us. I think we're stall number 243, and very excited to be raising awareness of ADHD to any teachers and Senkos that walk by, any parents that decide to drop along. If in fact you want to drop along, please do. We'd love to see you and answer any questions you have. And then on Saturday, if you are around at 1 p.m. in one of the, I think it's the speaker seminar, one of the seminar workshops, we're doing a presentation at 1 p.m. on the Saturday around ADHD coaching and how ADHD coaching helps students with ADHD to improve their learning, engage in their learning, and hopefully reach their academic potential. So do join us at 1 p.m. at the TES SEN show on this Saturday, Friday and Saturday, but we're talking Saturday. And it's at the Business Design Center in Islington. So very, very excited to be raising awareness like that, exhibiting for the first time, because we need to get this message across. But the more we do this together, see the theme, right? Together we are better. The more we do this together, the more chances we have of being able to get this message across and making some real change, because this really is a game changer for ADHDers. So basically, just to finish off, right? There's a saying that they say, if it's meant to be, it's up to me, right? Now, in some respects, yes, for ADHD is quite often, if it's something we're not authentically interested in, that ain't gonna work. It's not leaving us alone with that task, right? Particularly if it's a big task, an overwhelming task. Yeah, you don't want to be saying, if it's meant to be, it's up to me, it's not going to happen. Okay. Instead, we want to be leaning towards interdependence, not independence. And as I say in coaching with a lot of my ADHDs that struggle to do the things that they really want to do, we talk about putting a body at the end of everything. Everything that you're struggling to do when you've got ADHD, put a body at the end of it. It's kind of using RSD, our rejection sensitivity, this usual issue of ours, we're kind of using it for ourselves as a strategy because of our people-pleasing tendencies, because we don't want to disappoint anyone. The things that we struggle to do, if there's a person at the end of it, i.e. someone that we're going to displease, someone that is going to suffer as a result of our inaction, chances are we are going to step up, right? We're going to raise our standard. All the executive function challenges, everything's going to like come together and we're going to deliver. It's always the way, see it every time. That's why the body double strategy, it is key. And the sooner our kids lean into this, the sooner they can set themselves up for success, and definitely the more likely they're going to achieve their potential. So the body double strategy is key. You know, if you don't ask, you don't get. As well, having a body double, not only does it increase accountability and also increase motivation for ADHDers, it can kind of obviously fill in the gaps. So, you know, if you're struggling to do something, for instance, if you're running your own company, right, you can't do it all. And there are certain things you're not going to do very well. So you want to be outsourcing, right? Getting the right bums on the right seats. But that is how your organization is going to thrive. So it's the same kind of principles. So basically doing what you can to outsource those weaknesses, and so you can basically operate in your unique, your area of unique brilliance, which is something that Fabian Fredrickson says from Bold Heart, which I think is just spot on. And that's what all ADHDers should be leaning towards, because they have some incredible, unique gifts to share with the world. But there are those barriers in the way. So the sooner we're able to ask for help, right? Accept those needs, and watch that video I did last week. Accept the ADHD needs, leverage your strengths, and delegate, getting the right bums on the right seats. Or if you're in education and you don't have the luxury of delegating, yeah, good luck delegating that essay, that maths test. Unfortunately, not the case. So it's a very different type of body double strategy applied there. That's where that coaches come in. That's where kind of people doing their kind of group study groups and things like that. And this is why we created our academic success program, because we know, having coached students with ADHD, that left to their own devices, they're going to self-sabotage, they're going to procrastinate. You know, ADHD is we need other people. We always step it up. We're a better version of ourselves. We get ourselves out of our own way. We work better in a team. We don't want to let the team down. So it's about getting people at the end of all those things where we're going to fall. It's so important. And that's what we do in coaching. And that's what we do in our academic success program. So very excited. Our university success program is launching this Sunday. If you would like to know more, do have a look at our website, ADHDadvocate.com. I'll provide some links to the ADHD Academy, which is the company that will actually be delivering that program. But we are so excited to be launching that to you know, gather evidence and prove to education that the key for ADHD is for success, particularly in education, is using this kind of body double strategy, the accountability, helping ADHDers understand their ADHD, their best learning styles, getting them clear about what they've got to do, when things are due, and doing it together, right? Because shame dies when stories are shared. So it is just so important for ADHDers to come together and leverage their strengths together and help each other rise, right? You deserve the best support possible. And reframing, you know, reframe it, because you're never going to do it for yourself, right? You'll do it for others. And so we do a lot of that in coaching as well. We know all the tricks, but hopefully by getting into this practice of asking for help, you know, that is going to be evidence that will make ADHDers feel like, you know, they're into habits more comfortable. So we kind of get them into the discomfort zone, get them a bit more comfortable, then throw their backpack over the wall and, you know, get them out of their own way so that they can achieve. it's fun. Coaching is amazing. It's a great process. If you are interested in getting more support, finding out more about coaching, again, come along to the TES SEN show this Saturday, or get in touch through our website, www.thehdadvocate.com. So thank you for listening, guys. Lean into interdependence, not independence, right? If you don't ask, you don't get. Step out so they could step up, all that kind of thing. And you do. You deserve the best support possible, particularly if you're a parent with ADHD and you've got children with ADHD. Okay, it takes a village. It really does. Do not try and do this on your own. It is literally a recipe for disaster. And I say that completely firsthand in my own personal experience. So would love to help you. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about academic success and ADHD, and that will be with Eleni. And we will probably go into some of the specifics, give you some tips around how to support ADHDers academically so they can thrive. So I look forward to speaking to you then, and I hope you have a great day. Get out there and enjoy. Thank you for listening.